I feel
This was also selected by Baha. This video is entitled A Guide to the Modern Housewife.
so happy.
Good.
Can we have a Karen cleanse? Karens aren't cleanses. I've told you this before.
Excited. We're excited.
Okay, I'm
Kevin
gonna
was
skip
so many
this.
Kids
And in
There
any
we
three,
go.
for everything.
when you tell a story, and I mean every story, you need three things: a main character or the protagonist.
I said this when Baha sent this to me too. I don't know why, because it's not one-to-one, and you're probably all going to disagree. But this guy sounds a little bit like Hans Wormhat to me, but if Hans was, like, not half asleep all the time.
A goal, and an antagonist or villain who tries to stop the main character from achieving his goal. If you don't have these elements, your story will be boring and people won't listen or watch. Recently, I've been focusing on that last part, though, the antagonist or the villain. But more specifically, stories that
I know it's not a ton. I just think, I don't know, the first thing I thought when I heard this was like, this guy sounds a little bit like Hans.
do a good job of incorporating multiple villains into the plot, like the first Harry Potter book or even Ozark, because real life isn't linear and simple, it's complex. Usually when bad things happen, they all happen at the same time. Usually when you have a goal, multiple things or people try to prevent you from achieving that goal. So when we talk about the issue of marriage, it seems to me that people want to simplify the problem to just one thing, which I believe Karen Strong says it best. It's not that every woman will ruin your life, it's that every woman can. Certainly a good perception.
If you're in a marriage with someone, whether it's a man or a woman or whatever, NB, who cares, whatever the person's gender happens to be, I hate to break it to you, but yeah, if you marry someone and you care about that person, they all have the opportunity to destroy your life. That's the nature of attachments to other people. Like, if you're emotionally invested in someone, if they do something to hurt you, it hurts a lot. And that sucks, but it's reality, and that's not a gender thing.
But that idea by itself is not good enough. Because if that was the only problem, then we would all still be getting married. All you would have to do is just find a woman who will never do that, and the problem would be solved, even with the bad laws. But that's not how it is. There's at least one more problem.
That's right.
Women have all the power in the relationship, and at the same time,
Kyle is
they have
raccoon.
zero idea
Thanks for following.
of what
Wait, where's this idea that women have all the power in a relationship? What are you talking about?
men value. The feminist propaganda was highly
Feminist propaganda. Oh no, women are being told that they don't have to put up with abuse and that they can leave empty, loveless marriages. The horror. Andrew Dickerson with 10 bits. It's probably worded, any woman can ruin your life. Not all women can ruin your life, yeah. Ask Compio with 10 bits. If you exist, there's always going to be someone that can ruin your life, even if you're an isolated hermit living in the woods on an island. Yeah.
effective. They took what men value, told women to do the exact opposite, and it worked. The reason it worked is because
Hold on, let me read this. I'll read this stupid 4chan post. God, I hate 4chan. So this person from Germany posts, or at least their IP address is in Germany. They could be using a VPN. I just dumped my girlfriend of 2 years. First of all, let me just point this out. If you're not familiar with 4chan, 99% of the things posted on 4chan are not true. It's just made up. People make stuff up on 4chan all the time. I just dumped my girlfriend of 2 years. Seemed a sweet, caring girl, family-oriented and all that. We got drunk and she confessed she did a gangbang like a month before we met and loved it. Oh yeah, this is definitely a 4chan made-up thing to try and rile up the incels. She did a gangbang like a month before we met and loved it. Packed the stuff I had at her place and got the fuck... It was before you met her. Why would you care? The... WHORE doesn't even realize what she did wrong, is now heartbroken and all. Now her girlfriends are trying to gaslight me and telling me I'm an asshole because it's in the past and she just made an experience. Yeah. Who cares? Who cares? As long as she's, like, clean and everyone was safe. Who cares? What a hellish timeline. Where do you find a decent woman nowadays? Do you even exist anymore? How the F am I supposed to start a family with a WHORE? Yikerinos. Why are so many men's views of women tied to whether or not they've had sex? It's so bizarre.
Relationship is based on value, whether they are sexual or not. If one or both sides are not providing value, then the relationship becomes toxic or gets destroyed. And yes, feminists did pull the same trick on men, but to a much lesser degree.
Tricky feminists. Aha! I wish feminists were trickier. We should get together and come up with a plan to actually, be effective, more effective at, destroying fascism and making sure that women are being treated equally in society. That'd be great. We'll talk about it at the secret meeting at the castle on Thursday. Pay us, Soros. Yep, that's right.
Degree, because men can't survive without having earned value like women can. So what often happens in the case where men retain value but women don't is you get a relationship like this.
Earned value.
A husband provides value by working his ass off while the lazy wife stays at home.
What? Most women in the United States are employed. I'm talking about, we're not counting, obviously, children and people of retirement age. But, people in, the age group where people tend to work, most women in the United States work. What are you talking about?
A perfect example of this.
And also, you're like a MGTOW dude. You guys are constantly being like, oh no, women can go out into the workforce instead of being stay-at-home moms. Well, what do you want? Which do you want? Do you want women to go and stay in the home and just make you a sandwich? Or do you want to call them lazy for not getting a job? Because you can't have both.
Comes from the Friend family on the first episode of Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. If you've never seen this show before, it's basically like a Japanese Netflix version of Hoarders. People have dirty houses, and Marie helps them tidy up.
二人とも結構お仕事をされてて、それが忙しいんですよ。Both of you work?
They want to be able to demean women. That's what they want. Well, I guess they've accomplished their goal.
Well, he mostly works. I teach intercultural communication a few days a week, but I'm mostly home.
I'm 50, 60 hours a week, yeah, and then sometimes on the weekends.
I'm actually curious. Let's see. Percentage of American women versus men employed. Last time I checked, I do think the male employment rate is slightly higher because, of course, culturally, stay-at-home moms tend to be more of a thing than stay-at-home dads. Yeah, it's a little bit higher. In 2018, there were 75,978,000 women aged 16 and over in the labor force, representing 46.9% of the total labor force. So almost half. We're only off by 3.1% in terms of 50-50 making up the makeup of the labor force, and 57.1% of women participate in the labor force compared to 69% of men. Again, the discrepancy being because in America and in a lot of countries, stay-at-home moms tend to be a thing more than stay-at-home dads. So, yeah, majority of women work, just like a majority of men work. It's fine. It's fine if that's what you want to do with your life. It's fine if you have an arrangement with your partner that you want to be a stay-at-home parent. Who cares? As long as you're supporting yourself, it's fine.
I'm a sales manager for a restaurant supply company, so...
This situation with Rachel and Kevin is something I often see with women who say, but I work too. The husband works all day, 7 days a week with a real job, and she works a fun job for a few hours a week.
What? I didn't even listen what her job was. Hold on.
をされてて、それが忙しい。
Marie helps.
So both of you work?
Well, he mostly works. I teach intercultural communication a few days a week, but I'm mostly home.
I'm a manager
With women who
Okay, so this particular woman does have a job, but she's home most of the time. That's fine. You applying this situation to the majority of people is ridiculous. You're taking one anecdote and saying that's the case in most relationships. And in my experience, it's not.
say, but I work too. The husband works all day, 7 days a week with a real job, and she works a fun job for a few hours a week. Notice how he specifically gave how...
I don't understand why you think that's a fun job. Like, she's probably doing it for money. She might enjoy it. It's good to enjoy your job. But, like, that doesn't necessarily make it a fun job. Teaching cultural communication doesn't sound... And again, she may enjoy it, but that doesn't mean it's recreational. Like, people don't do things that they get paid for that people would do for free. If people would do things for free, then people would do them for free and you wouldn't need to pay them.
How many hours he works, and she didn't. There's a reason for that. She wants to make her job look more demanding than it is.
Let me put it this way. Even streaming like this, which I enjoy. I do enjoy streaming. I enjoy talking with you guys. But, like, if I wasn't getting paid to do it, I might still do it, but I certainly wouldn't be doing it, 6 out of 7 days a week for 4 hours a day or something like that. 3 to 4 hours a day, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, people can enjoy their work, but also in a capitalist society, profit motive and making sure you can, like, pay the bills, that's what gets people into work every day.
So let's figure out just how much she works through the power of math.
The power of math. I'm going to take an anecdote and then do math on it and then act like that's applicable to every single woman in the country. I'm not a clown.
Said she teaches a humanities class a few days a week. We can assume that's maybe 2 to 4 days a week. A humanities course usually runs for about an hour and a half, meaning that Rachel is working anywhere from 3 to...
Wait, are you assuming that the only time she works is when she's literally in the classroom, whether it's digital or otherwise, giving a lecture? Because being a teacher is not about... I mean, this is a big part of teaching, but, like, it's not just about showing up and giving your lecture. You spend the rest of your time preparing lesson plans, grading papers, and if you're in a university, depending on the university and depending what class and level you're at, you might have, like, TAs to help you with that stuff. But, like, if you're a professor of something and you're teaching people, or even if you're not at a university and you're doing something informally, you're still spending time working on getting materials together for the lesson that are outside of the class. Most of your hours working as a teacher are not going to be in the classroom. They're going to be in prep work.
3 to 6 hours per week. Versus Kevin, who works 50 to 60 hours on the weekdays, and then sometimes throws in extra hours on the weekend as a sales manager. So Kevin is putting in 70 to 80 hours a week, and then he comes home and helps with the housework, while she works at most 6 hours a week.
Again, no. You're assuming that the only time she's working is in the classroom. It's not. Teachers spend more time outside of the classroom preparing. And also on top of that, they also have a baby that was in the shot that they're taking care of, which apparently she's also taking care of the kid.
And feels overwhelmed.
Rachel always has one thing on her mind, and that's enjoying her life.
Yeah, I think we can all see that. This is what I mean when I say women don't understand value. For one, if she's working 6 hours a week, teaching...
You are massively underestimating the amount she works. The only time you spend teaching is not literally when you're in front of people teaching something online.
Humanities, then she probably is not making a significant...
And also, I don't like how this guy is saying humanities. It makes me think he has he thinks that anything that isn't a STEM field is just shit, and it should be, like, done away with, which is ridiculous, and the kind of thing an idiot thinks about education.
significant contribution to the finances, and therefore doesn't need to work for the money. If she's saying that her job is so stressful that she can't keep it together at home, where she's more valuable...
Why do you assume she's more valuable at home than she is doing what she's doing teaching? Why is that your intrinsic gut reaction?
And she should quit her job. That's really what this entire episode is about. They aren't fixing Kevin's problems, they're fixing Rachel's. If you watch the show, you'll see that all the problems in the house, including their arguments, stem from the job that she is supposed to be handling. She can't get it done, even though he helps her after being at work for 12 hours. Imagine how mad you would be if you had worked your ass off all day and then had to come home and do your wife's job too.
I haven't seen this episode. I don't know the specific situation. If they had agreed in the relationship earlier on, I'm going to work a full-time job, you're going to work a job that you can do from home, take care of the kids, and take care of the house. That's one thing. but I don't know if they said that specifically.
He's definitely cleaner than I am, okay? I'm not a super dirty person, but when it comes to, throwing my clothes over here and letting them pile up and leaving the laundry for a while, that's me. Kevin was definitely more organized, so I feel like I came in and just like wrecked that ship. Right, babe? But there was so many, there's so much good that came with that bad, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We got 2 kids out of it. That's the answer for everything.
Just look at that. She is so unaware of how much of a problem her behavior is that she doesn't realize he insulted her by saying that she has literally no value outside of her biology.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. You're reading really, really far into the fact that he mentioned their kids.
In fact, Rachel even stated that she has negative value because she claimed that she took Kevin's clean environment and made it dirty. I mean, it's not like this stuff takes forever. They live in a small 1-story, 3-bedroom house.
Okay, and she has 2 kids to take care of on top of prepping for whatever class she's teaching, which can be a full-time job in and of itself. And I know you calculated, it's like 6 hours a week. You literally only counted her in-class class. It's an online class, but you know what I mean. You're literally only counting the time she literally spends on stream talking to her students, which is not the entirety of what goes into teaching a class, you moron.
In Lakewood, California. She could get most of the important cleaning done in about 2 or 3 hours a day. That leaves her plenty of time to have fun with the kids and cook the meals. Staying at home is not an excuse to be lazy. If you want to...
Who said she's being lazy? They have 2 kids. She's taking care of 2 kids and doing prep work for her class.
Attain value and have a good relationship, then if he is putting in 12 hours a day at work, then you put in 12 hours a day at home.
And let me be clear, too. I haven't seen this episode. I don't know. It's entirely possible she does have issues that she needs to work on. I have no idea. The larger point is that this has nothing to do with 99% of people in the population. He's taking one family who has organizational issues and applying it to literally millions and millions of people in the United States. And it's very, very stupid of him to do so.
So much work that by the time he gets home, all he has to do is spend time with the family and go to sleep. When the nuclear family was at its peak, that's what women did, instead of using staying at home as an excuse to sit in front of the TV all day.
Oh my God. Hey, bud. I don't know how to break this to you, but women didn't have it very good in the height of the nuclear family. A lot of them were abused and weren't allowed to do anything without their husband's permission, and they couldn't divorce their husbands. They didn't have the agency to go out and do things for themselves outside of, like, shop with the money their husbands gave them. They weren't able to go and pursue things that they wanted to do for themselves. It's, like, not good. No bueno, bud. I know you want to have, like, some kind of weird maid sex slave that you can come home to, but as it turns out, women don't like that. So no. The answer is no. You cannot have that.
But it gets worse than that, because not only is Rachel not holding up her end of the deal, but she also wastes her husband's money on hiring someone else to do her job.
これはどんな感じで分かれている？
So how do you separate them? In categories or?
I think so. I don't do it. We have someone help us do it, like a laundry person. Because I hate doing laundry.
We fight about laundry, and it seems silly when I say it, but really, it pisses me off, like, a lot. It's not because she doesn't do the laundry. It's because we hire somebody to come do it. It's not like I'm saying, hey, you do the laundry, you watch the kids, you do the dish. I'm saying, no, we got to do this, but let's do this as a family. Like,
Hold on.
Calm down.
Okay, well, okay.
I do think that's reasonable. The fact that he's saying, and that's the reasonable position to take, hey, we both have we both have other stuff going on, but when we're both home together, it's laundry day. We gotta do laundry because it's something we both need to do. And I assume, based on the fact that this is a discussion they're having, it's not really within their budget to continue to have someone else come and do their laundry for them, which I already think is kind of silly. You're adults. Do your own laundry.
Okay, hold on a second. With him working more, I'm home with the kids more. and it's freaking chaos. My kids are just like running around and being crazy, and we never get anything done. So I think to myself, what's an easy resolution? If we don't have enough time, then maybe we could pay somebody to do these things, and that way we have more time.
Man, look at those eyes she makes at the end. You can also see her trying to avoid eye contact with the camera because she...
You're generally told not to spike the lens, bud. You're not supposed to look into the camera most of the time when you're filming stuff. Usually you either look at, even for like a documentary thing like this, you look at the interviewer that's actually asking you questions, which is someone on the production team, or if it's a specific thing, they might tell you, hey, look into the camera while you're answering this question. But like, it makes people uncomfortable a lot of the time to look straight into the lens of the camera, which is why they don't have people do it typically.
She knows what she's saying is complete bullshit. Her body movements show that too. So basically, the monetary value she brings in by teaching classes is being destroyed because she hires someone to do laundry for her. And what's worse is she hired someone to do something that mostly involves you waiting for a machine to do it for you, which means she's paying her maid for idle time. This is what's driving her husband insane.
It depends. Is the maid only doing laundry? Because, like, my mom, who I don't talk to anymore, but, like, she does house cleaning, right? I've helped her with this, actually. So I've actually done house cleaning before for money because I was at a point a while back where I needed extra money. So I have experience with this. If you're a maid and you go to someone's house and like laundry is part of the job you're being paid to do, you don't put the laundry in, start it, and then go and sit down and wait for it to be done. You start the laundry when you get there, and then you start doing your other stuff, and then when it's done, you go and you change it over and you continue doing the other like house cleaning stuff and so on and so forth. Like, you don't literally pay a maid to come and start laundry, sit there, and do nothing. That would be stupid.
Insane. And I know people like to make it look like it's not a big deal. Oh, it's just cleaning, get over it. But it's a huge deal. Men don't want to come home to a dirty house and have to make their own food after working all day, while you were at home not answering to a boss.
Oh my god. She's teaching. I don't know what the context of her teaching is. She may have a boss. She may not. And not only that, but she's doing that and the prep work for that on top of 2 kids. 2 kids are a lot of work. It's not something I want to deal with. That's why I'm never having kids. Like, just saying. Acting like she's doing nothing is silly. And again, I even recognize from these clips, I haven't seen the episode, although I kind of want to go watch it now that I'm, like, seeing this. It looks like an interesting show. It seems like a kind of reality show that I dig. Almost like Hoarders, but not, like, so extreme that it's depressing. Just, like, people dealing with, like, organizational issues. That sounds cool. Oh, God, I lost my train of thought. And they might have issues, like I was saying. They might have issues, then she might need to recognize that like paying someone to do the laundry isn't necessarily the right thing to do. The husband seems like he has a reasonable position on this. Hey, we can't really afford to have someone come and do the laundry for us, and that's expensive. Paying people to come and clean your house is quite expensive. Again, I got paid to do it in the past. But like, his solution is the correct one. His solution is, hey, I recognize this is an issue. I know you don't like doing it, but we're adults, and we need to both pool together, and on days we have off, we should do the laundry together, and that's fine. That seems reasonable. They're in a house of 4 people, 2 children. You could crank that out in a day. You could do your laundry and it would be done. And again, he's right in the sense that doing laundry while putting things away kind of sucks, especially depending on you know how your house is organized and stuff. And if you have like 4 rooms or 3 rooms to go and take stuff into, that's annoying. But like, you just do it. Just do it. And it's a little hypocritical coming from me because I'm not the best at keeping on top of that stuff. But like, I recognize I need to do it better. And I recognize that as an adult, you should be able to go and do your laundry. And the husband's solution is correct. But using this example to shit on all women is incredibly stupid. And it makes this guy look like, I've been using this term a lot, but I feel like it applies to so many people. This guy's acting like a jackass. Antipodian Squid with 100 bits. Speaking from my experience, the not at home with baby person tends to have no idea the amount of work that you have to do to care for a child and a house. And then when you're working, in the end, I went on strike at home for a week to get my point across, and now the housework and spawn care is shared properly. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'd imagine so. Report. Hold on, Sushi Mom has a link. Can you report this? Ah, yeah, I'll report that.
And doing whatever you wanted. This is a massive deal. If you don't think so, then look at Rachel's husband's reaction to the change.
Rachel and I are, it's like, it gives me the chills a little bit. It's like we're like happier. We're more at ease. There's less tension. When we're doing things in the kitchen or when we're doing the laundry, we're talking, we're having a conversation about it.
Tucker White, have we found, I had to step away for a bit, have we found a chud as bad as Bass? No, not today we haven't.
Our day and et cetera. It's not something that takes away from our life anymore. It's something that adds to our life now.
I did report that person on Twitter, by the way, so just so you know, Sushi Mom. Yeah, if anyone wants to go and look at Sushi Mom's link and see if there's anything reportable, feel free to do so.
Kevin and I, like, things have changed with us. Like, he has been more, like, romantic and cute lately. He says, oh, the whole cleaning thing is, like, sexy. So it's just, you know, I'm serious.
セクシーだねっていう。
Take a look at that. He even says that she is more attractive now that she adds actual value to the household. The intervention
can we not talk about it in that way? That's so gross.
Wasn't for the friend family. It was for Rachel.
I'm just gonna say it. I hate laundry, okay? That actually gives me anxiety. But I know that if Kevin and I continue our habits, my kids are gonna be the exact same.
It's statements like this that reveal what the problem is. Not only do women have the choice to be a complete detriment to their relationship...
Oh my god. Hey, Bud. Hey, Bud. Why are you saying that it's their choice to be a complete detriment when you're literally watching a show where people were trying to address a conflict they were already having over this? Clearly she wasn't getting away with anything, if you want to frame it that way, because they literally had a reality show come and deal with the conflict they were having about it.
And still get what they want, but even if they wanted to be a good wife, they don't know how. They're supposed to learn these skills in childhood. By the time she's an adult, she should...
Oh, gross. You should literally spend your childhood learning how to take care of me, an adult man, because I can't take care of myself. Tucker White 94, take notes, Hannah. You might learn how to be more sexy to Baja. Yeah, sure.
Already know how to do laundry quickly so it doesn't give her anxiety. She should know how to cook amazing food. She should know how to manage kids from experiences like babysitting.
Oh my god, this is so gross. Hey, Bud, I know this woman did grow up and end up having kids, but implying that all women should get experience taking care of kids because that's like part of their predetermined biological role is fucked up, considering a lot of women don't want to have kids, and that's fine.
If you don't know that stuff by the time you are married, then you are at a significant disadvantage. A disadvantage that is probably only going to be made up with lost sleep, and how many modern women are willing to do that? How many modern women are willing to...
Hey, how about this? Guy who made this video, think before you sleep. Let's say you get into a marriage and your wife makes more money than you, which is something that happens relatively often now. Women have been in the workforce for decades at this point. Does it automatically become your job since you're making less money to clean the house? Is that okay? Do you know how to cook? Amazing meals. Not just good, amazing, because that's how you describe what she should do. Do you know how to cook amazing meals? Do you know how to clean the house and take care of the kids and do everything? Oh, you don't? Because you think the fact that you have a penis somehow exempts you from knowing how to take care of yourself as an adult? It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Sacrifice and put themselves through extreme stress to learn skills they should have learned in childhood. How many single mothers who are already victims to their bad decisions are going to put in the work so that men will stay around? The single mothers aren't going to do that. They're too content with welfare and the other free stuff they get.
Oh my god. Is it 1985? Are we really doing the Reagan welfare queen bullshit that's been debunked a million fucking times?
The rest of the women aren't going to do that either. Everyone already does everything for them and appeases them when they make bad decisions. Why bother with all the stress when it's perfectly acceptable and encouraged to live vastly below your potential? Now, I'm bringing this up because that's what quite a lot of us were given from the previous generation. That's what the millennials and Gen Z inherited, an adult pool full of parents and teachers and single mothers who didn't teach us anything about how to be valuable to ourselves or other people. They didn't pass down any of the important knowledge they were given from their parents, and that's caused our generations to have quite a few problems that we should.
Hey, bud, use YouTube. Just search how to do and then insert the thing you want to learn how to do. It's all over the internet. You can learn any skill. You can learn basically any skill. Tucker White 94, I love how it's the women's who have to learn this shit. The men's don't have to do shit other than shit and get fat. As Compy with 10 bits. But Hannah, don't you know if you see it in a movie and it confirms your biases, it's obviously true and can't be challenged?
Shouldn't have. So, if you want to defeat that neglect and the propaganda you were taught as a kid while at the same time harming the people who harmed you when you were young, then become valuable. Your best revenge is always success. There is nothing horrible people hate more than to see their ideas failing while their enemies' ideas succeed. Now, I've already made a lot of videos on building value, so I'm not going to bore people by repeating.
MMO Addicted says I'd be happy to cook for someone. That's nice. Baja's cooked for me. She's a good cook.
Old material, but I will say this. If you want to be valuable, then you can never be finished improving. And I know that sounds obvious, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah, that applies to everyone. That's not a gendered thing. It's not a gendered thing. You should know how to clean your own house without a wife.
Act that way. You can see it here right on YouTube. There are many channels out there complaining that the algorithm killed their channel, when in reality, the reason their channels are dying is because they haven't improved at all since they started. There are many YouTubers out there that you can look at.
I get what you're saying. Part of it is the algorithm, but I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah, channels do need to continue to improve and change over time. Absolutely. I'm with you on that. But also YouTube, the algorithm pushes a lot of... let's look at YouTube real quick. YouTube tends to push in their, like, trending stuff, and bear in mind, trending isn't just, like, the most popular stuff. It's curated most of the time. Like, they push stuff like, oh, look at the most recent thing from Saturday Night Live, or look at, like, this person playing a popular game it's popular to play. Here's a trailer for a Ryan Reynolds movie. So, just saying, as someone who's been on YouTube for 8 years or so with the Hannah and Jake channel, YouTube has over time vastly changed how it supports independent creators as opposed to stuff like put out by, I don't know, Jimmy Kimmel or, you know, they tend to push stuff like that more. But I understand what you're saying. I don't entirely disagree.
And say, wow, you produced the exact same content in the exact same way that you did 5 years ago. Well, I guess there's no point in watching you anymore because you haven't really grown, and I can already predict everything you're going to say. Many YouTubers, as well as people in other professions, get complacent and stagnant. As the old saying goes, if you aren't getting better, then you're getting worse. The way you get better is by putting lots of effort into learning new things about a valuable skill. You
Lord of Patriarchy commented on my video about him.
First, by being okay with the way you are, or by wasting time building skills.
Maybe you'll make a video about me.
It's really that simple. All you have to do is consistently put time into learning new things, and then put those new things you learned into practice after you learn them. But with that said, I think that's enough for this video. So if you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, comment and share. If you would like to support this channel, then you can do so by donating through PayPal, Patreon, or Subscribestar. All of those links are in the description, and they're on my channel page. Last.
Okay, so that's this video.